Hello and welcome back to episode 119, I think, of the DISUNOMICS podcast. Shout out to those who listened to the previous weeks. Me and my boy Ed were discussing if we should legalize marijuana. So make sure you listen to that episode. He's also on YouTube, subscribe, etc., etc. Anyway, I'm joined by a special guest who's struggling to put on glasses and headphones. Special guest, what's your name?
My name is Jamilah.
Jamilah?
Yes.
And Jamilah, what do you do for a living? Do you mind saying, or do you want to keep that low key?
That's okay. I am a freelance digital marketer.
Oh, what does a freelance digital marketer do?
Well, I'm actually like a remote one. I work from things like the curtain or from my house or whatever. But essentially, I do everything of digital advertising for brands, or I promote people's services. I work a lot in tech. I also do things in fashion and lifestyle, travel, etc. That kind of great, groovy stuff.
Okay, cool. So why are you here today?
Because you brought me here to discuss veganism.
Yeah. So I call this girl Plant Girl because she doesn't stop banging on about all types of plants and fruits, and there's always this minerals and that and all. So I don't even know if she's telling the truth. I believe her most of the time, but
if I'm telling the truth, of course I'm telling the truth. The reality is you don't have to. Sorry.
Well, bring the mic closer to your mouth that you don't have to move towards it. Then you can stay in the same position. That's common sense.
Can you not get on to me? Sometimes be nice.
I told you twice. You still get it right.
Alrighty,
Anyway.
fine.
Okay, so what is veganism?
So essentially, veganism.
Actually, no, forget that. How long have you been vegan for?
I've been vegan, or I've been on my journey for.
Your journey.
It's a journey.
No, it's not. Where are you going?
Do you see this finger? I've been on my journey for almost 10 years now.
That's a long journey still.
I know, but it's been a great one.
It's quicker to get to Australia.
Do
okay.
you see? Okay.
You just look like a ruffian swearing on cam. But anyway, so what is veganism?
So veganism is abstaining from eating meat.
Okay,
and also products of or using it, i.e., soaps or.
What? So you don't bath with soap?
We use soap that doesn't contain animal products. So shut your mouth, okay?
I'm making sure.
I wash my legs, okay?
Unlike certain demographics.
Okay.
Okay, so what's the difference between veganism and vegetarians?
So there's obviously different tiers. So a vegetarian eats things like dairy or eggs, whereas a vegan won't have honey because obviously it's made by an animal.
Right, so you can't even have a young honey and lemon.
No, but then there's other things like agave.
What's agave?
Agave is, or argive, however people like to say it. It's from cactus.
Okay.
And it's just like a sweet nectar.
So isn't... Okay, I was gonna start trolling, but
go for it.
No, it's cool, man.
Because you're annoying.
I gotta save mine for other purposes. Okay, so what about the man them that eat fish but they don't eat everything else?
So that would be classified as a pescatarian.
Pescatarian.
Mm-hmm.
So why are people pescatarian? It's like, oh yeah, we'll chop like living things, but if you swim, it's calm. Like, what's the rationale behind that? Do you know?
I think people have the assumption that fishes are not meat. They always have the, it's not. And as many times when I used to say to people I'm vegan, they'll be like, they'll try to give me fish. And I'm like, are you dumb? It's moving. It's alive, it breathes.
Mm-hmm.
So no.
Don't cactuses breathe?
Of course they do. However, it's a different kind of breathing, It doesn't. Okay, you're an idiot.
I'm a what? An idiot?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You're like them annoying anti-vegans. But essentially, how I see it is animals rot, fishes rot. Obviously, plants rot, but I get it from a living state. You lot don't get your meat from a living state. As soon as you get it from the supermarket, it's already rotten. It's dead. So you're not getting the nutrients as you would do like a plant. So that's the difference. So yeah.
You don't eat eggs, do you?
No.
Okay. Do vegetarians eat eggs?
Yeah, they do. Because they classify it as dairy.
Oh, them man are moving mad still. Anyway, so tell us more about your vegan journey, whatever that is.
So essentially, I had a few moments where there was a lot going on in my life where I had family members that were sick with cancer. I think there was equivalent of about 6 different individuals on both sides of my family. So one person died. 2 individuals also had like breast cancer and another type of cancer. And then, oh my God, that was my teeth.
Sorry.
And then there was another 2 individuals, like my grandma got sick, my dad, so many people in the space of like 6 months, and it was just too heavy. And I started to research about cancers and just illnesses in general. And I kind of came to the realization that essentially your diet, what you put in your skin, anything you're digesting, be that orally, be that, on your skin, like I said, it's going to have an effect on what your organs are doing. And your body isn't actually an organ. So I was like, oh, let me change my diet. And I kind of went on this journey, just learning about different things. And then I started to say to a couple of friends, oh, I'm going to be vegan. And I remember one girl was like, no, it's going to last like a week. Black people love chicken too much. And it was like, okay. But for me, it was really simple. It wasn't, I think the only thing I missed was like brown stew chicken. Because that's like in my household. My mum can cook some banging brown stew. But it was so simple. And then it got to the stage of the smell of cooking meat would be like, ugh, I'm going to vomit.
So you won't cook me like a young... You won't cook meat for me?
I'll cook meat for you because I can cook. So it'll be banging. However, I may have to wear a mask so that I don't smell it.
So how do you know it's banging if you're not tasting it as it's going on?
I don't need to taste it.
Okay, cool.
I'm a banging cook.
Okay,
So
well, nobody knows that. Like,
my friends know. You said I'm not your friend earlier, so
yeah. So exactly. So I don't know, innit? So it remains to be seen. Okay. Now here's my part. So this is DISUNOMICS. So we talk about numbers and statistics.
yes,
So you may know this or may not.
yeah.
So the number of vegans in Great Britain quadrupled between 2014 and 2018. Does that surprise you?
No, I see it as more like a fashion statement. I think people do things like veganism to be cool or to be woke or to be included.
Yeah. See me. I'll rather stay asleep. I ain't trying to be woke.
You're just silly. You're actually silly. But I just think people have instead of like actually seeking out for the benefits, they do it because, oh, everything's in. They don't look into why it's great. They just look into, oh, it's popular. And I think that's the kind of notion. Along with everyone started jumping on, a lot of vegans jumped on the, oh, it's murder, like kind of a vegan terrorist vibe. Like they go into the supermarkets or, oh, because I have a dog, you shouldn't eat meat.
They say that to people.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would say that to me. I will kick your blood clot dog for one. Yeah. Your dog will go from aisle 3 to aisle 17. So take a little run away from me.
You're rude. And
I will still be buying my steak, my lamb. Like, why can't people... Do you know what? That reminds me of, them people that are protesting outside Canada Goose.
Yeah.
And like, these people would... One time it was snowing. They were still there. I was like...
It's never by force.
Sis, it's snowing.
It's not that
You've got to catch a cold. Like, go home. And apparently like they throw paint at people's jackets. I was thinking...
Yeah.
If you think, I wish somebody would.
That's assault.
Anyway, they can't try me because I'll flog all of you.
But even for me, I found I just think that's stupid. I'm not that kind of vegan. I'm never a vegan to be like, you should eat this. If I cook it and you're there, amazing. I do encourage it, but I'm never going to tell you don't eat meat because X, Y, Z. I don't care. I care, but I don't care enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, to like ram it down somebody's throat.
Absolutely. It's annoying. It's not, everyone runs away.
You do that to me though.
Why are you lying?
Okay. For the live for the cameras.
When did I do that? Tell.
All the time, fam.
You're a liar.
I'm a true liar. Anyway, so in 2018, there were 600,000 vegans, or 1.16% of the population.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2016, there were 276,000. So that's like less than half a percentage point.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2014, there was 150,000. That's a quarter percentage. So that's the source is the Vegan Society. So shout out them.
Yeah.
Supermarket chains in the UK are stocking more vegan options because now obviously the demand is quadrupled.
Absolutely.
So money have to make. Waitrose launched a dedicated vegan section in more than 130 shops, while Iceland reported that sales in its plant-based foods have risen 10% in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
The UK market for meat-free foods is reportedly worth $500 million, which is quite a lot, and it's expected to get to 658 million by 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So you and your people them are rising.
We're growing.
Yeah.
Are you jealous?
I'm not jealous. I just have to see more jazz. But
I think though, most of the people that become vegan, they go on this journey of being like, it sounds really annoying, but to say they go on the journey of like, I do yoga and I get in touch with a spiritual side of me. So when they go on these yoga retreats or they go on this spiritual journey, you have to abstain from meat, because it kind of affects the supposed.
Hey, low-key, I feel like yoga's cap. Like, I feel like all this stuff is just cap. And I feel like I want to start my own yoga class. So to get bare bad beasts to come and do yoga. And I'll just be talking jazz. Oh yeah, enlightening your spirit. Oh yeah, go vegan. And I'll just be chopping all your money. That's what I'll do. You
can't even stretch. So how's it going to work?
Don't worry about that, yeah?
Yeah.
It's true.
So it's not going to work. But essentially, that is when they got...
I'll just get... Okay, we'll be my company, but I'll just get a front.
Okay, do it.
Let's get somebody just to be the front.
Do it. Do it. I'm down. I'll come.
Okay. You could bring in the people. Okay. So why is it so popular? So you've actually jumped ahead of a topic because you spoke about the social buzz. And if you look at... Okay, so I'm looking at some data from the Morning Advertiser. Let me open a quote. Going deeper, they find out that female millennials are who are the most engaged, outnumbering their male counterparts 5-1. So females are significantly more likely to be vegan, which makes sense. Also, evidence suggests that more consumers are living semi-vegan lifestyles, with meat-free dinner consumption rising to 150 million. Wow, from 150 million to 4 billion in 2018. So
you're Jamaican now.
Yeah, Carnival weekend and that. Veganism is a hot topic. The number of Google searches worldwide has spiked in recent years. So in 2018, the word veganism had a popularity score. No, in 2008. So that's 11 years ago. The word veganism had a popularity score of only 17, but it has increased to 88 only 10 years later.
Wow.
And the top 5 most searched questions on the topic in the UK asks what veganism is and what arguments are for cutting out animal products. Yeah. So we're seeing more and more people are intrigued with it. They're searching it online, mainly women, and that just basically falls like what you said. So obviously you know your stuff, innit? You've been knee deep in the game.
It's something like that.
Do you feel like you come across a lot of frauds?
I do.
Like, okay, so let's say you linked 10 vegan dons, yeah?
Yeah.
When I say dons, I mean women and men, like equal opportunities and that. How many of them would you reckon you'd be like, you're not really about this vegan lifestyle, my G?
I'd say 7.
Mad thing.
And I simply say that because it's difficult. A lot of people don't know how to substitute things. They don't learn about how it is when you become iron deficient, or they just don't know. So often they'll be like, I'm vegan for 5 days, or I'll be vegan for 2 days. And then they end up...
Right, man are doing working week or weekend vegan.
Yeah. It's because they don't know, they're unaware. And it's a hard journey. Do you know what I mean? Like when people ask me, they're like, oh wow, 10 years. I'm like, because it is a lifestyle. It's not just, oh, I'm vegan today. I'm vegan for life. I change everything. So when I talk about, it's not just veganism in my food, it's veganism in my chewing gum, and it's veganism in my perfume, and it's my soaps and my toothpaste, because all of these products do have animal stuff in them. Be that, your toothpaste or your soap, for example, has fish bone, or your lipstick has pig's blood. So even then, it's not even halal. So do you know what I mean? There's various levels. So you have to be cautious of things. And they put these products because it's cheaper. So they put the animal stuff in there because it makes it effective for them. It's like plastic. Plastic's cheaper than glass. So for them, for the people that's making the products, they're enjoying, wherever they can scrimp on change, they're happy.
Yeah.
So you have to be really careful. And then obviously when you check out like science, there's a lot of scientific facts behind veganism and why people stop eating meat. But the healthier options are like when you get sick, you stop eating meat. So for example, you want to check out your skincare. You're going to think about things like that. So you're going to be a bit more careful. So that's where I think there's a lot more change as well.
Yeah. I've seen it a lot more. Even I follow sports, and a lot more sports stars are becoming vegan. So like that's like a NFL quarterback. He's one of my favourite players, Cam Newton. He's become vegan. So I want to monitor how he plays the season. No, but it's just interesting to see how it's going to affect his body, because he's like one of the strongest players, like 6'6", like 260. He's known for being really, really athletic. So I want to be interested to see how it affects him. And a couple of footballers, like who's a well-known vegan footballer? Chris Smalling plays for Man United.
Okay.
and Hector Bellerin, who plays for Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be interested and wanted to see how they do physically. Who else? How many other vegans do I know? Oh, shout out my boy Paul.
Yeah.
Mr. Dongle, he's a vegan.
Yeah.
He was meant to be here, but obviously he's on holiday enjoying himself. But he doesn't seem to have lost any power in his bodybuilding, all that type of stuff. So it is interesting. But like, in terms of people personally I know vegan, you're the only two I know.
And that's a shame. I don't think there's enough people, one, that discuss their veganism. But I feel like there's a lack of education in the Black community when it comes to veganism. Simply like, for example, like in the African community, I don't think there's enough of it being spoken about.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that shit.
Which is a shame because...
Why? Why's it a shame?
Because if you're saying you get the itis almost when you eat, you're ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a good feeling. Every time you eat food, you're feeling like death. You know, you have to go to sleep.
But that's probably that's secretly due to portion size because we just
because I ram foods. I can eat for days. Do you know what I mean? My plate is probably bigger than yours, and that's fine.
That's cap. That's cap.
I eat a lot. Period.
You keep finishing food today.
Do you know how much I've had of food today? That was processed foods too.
But you ordered it. So.
You said you want food. You was buying. Thank you for the free meal.
Okay, that was first to last.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about the vegan economy. I'm not sure how much of this you know. Have you done any research?
I did a little bit.
Okay, I'm impressed.
Just a small.
Okay, so I'll start because obviously it's my podcast and that. So some random statistics to throw at people. So out of every 6 products launched in the UK, 1 carried a vegan claim. Mm-hmm. So that's quite significant. That probably was nowhere near the case 10 years ago. Mm-mm. So obviously, of course, market researchers have seen, more and more people becoming vegan is now not only maybe a change in the way people are doing their lives, but it is also a bit of a social media kind of pop culture trend. Yeah. So they're trying to cash in on that. Meat substitute sales grew by 451% in the European market in 4 years to February 2018. Mm-hmm. So since 2014 to 2018, meat substitutes have quadrupled in size. That's quite crazy. Online grocer Ocado, they're actually pretty good actually. I quite like them. Okay. Enjoyed a staggering 1,678% increase in sales within its vegan category between 2015 and 2016. So people that use Ocado, because Ocado is a bit more pricier, probably have a bit more money than the average consumer. Mm-hmm. So you're probably thinking a bit more bougier. And they're probably like, oh yeah, let's get some vegan stuff. So Ocado was like, okay, come, let's chop the money. That's actually mad. 1,600%. Dairy milk sales fell by 240 million. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah, so obviously because we don't have animal milk as much like before, obviously the sales on a drop. But people are learning more about milk. And obviously previously it was milk gives you calcium. But then a lot of people are learning that actually animal milk erodes your bones.
How?
I don't know all the deets. I don't know all the scientific deets, so you'll have to Google that. But it's a fact that it erodes the bones. It's not good for the bones. So
it's a fact we don't know the facts and details.
I don't know all the scientific details because I'm not a scientist, even though I did.
Wait! You told me you're supposed to be.
I professed to be one earlier. No, I'm not a scientist, obviously, but there is also that fact that it's not good for the body. Every animal should have their own kind of milk. Obviously, I'm not going to go to my mum and say, can you get me some milk from your breast format? Do you know what I mean? It's a lot. So the alternative is to get it from your nuts, your grains or whatever, you know?
Okay. So that's dairy milk. Demand for vegan and vegetarian ready meal snacks at Tesco grew by 40%, which is no shock. Fresh meat sales fell by 328 million throughout 2016, a 7.3% decline. So beef went down by 72 million, pork lost 62, sausages 51, poultry 49, and lamb 21 million. Cheese went down by 70 million.
Wow.
Frozen free-form foods rose by 123 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Animal agriculture is responsible for up to 91% of Amazon rainforest destruction. Mm-hmm. That's interesting, but...
Because they have to now use the land to grow for food for the animals.
Matting. Anyway, shout out to animals then. The global vegan market sales hit 19.5 billion in 2019. This is all via the Vegan Society.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Vegan Society giving me good information for my podcast. So that's mad. So obviously so sales in meat are reducing.
Yeah.
Certain chocolates are taking a hit. All because of you vegan hippies. Streets is done.
Yeah, but if you know that there's something not well in these products.
They don't know this shit. They're like, oh my God, I just want to be vegan and cosmo butter and now I'm vegan.
You're a hater. Period.
Why am I a hater?
No.
That's more meat for me. What are you talking about?
Well, eat the meat then. You cannot consume all the meat that's being produced.
I sure will try.
And die trying.
Get rich or die trying.
That would be it, easier. No. The reality is though, like everything you digest is going to have an effect on your body.
Yeah, facts.
And people are learning or just noticing how their body reacts to food. Be that if it's you go to toilet a lot, you know, a lot of people eat meat and then they pass horrible gas, or you know their poos are awful, you know, so stuff like that, or their skin ends up being really bad if they have dairy, or a lot of people have irritable bowel syndrome, so they can't have cheese or they can't have heavy meats. So even they're not going vegan, but they're changing their diet. A lot of people are getting sick from things, leaky guts or anything. So obviously something's happening. They're doing too much to the animals. It's not organic. And
they're pumping animals with mad things.
Right. And everything the animal gets, you now get. So all the hormones that the animal's getting, you now have that. And I don't think some men should have those kind of hormones. And it's not good for females anyway, because it makes you almost get to the place of lactating or almost like you're pregnant, like a cow. For a cow to milk, they need to put it in a state of always being pregnant. So they give it hormones to emulate that. So if a woman's getting that, now you're going to have awful periods, or you're going to have an awful effect that seems like you're having a period. So why would you want that?
Because the meat tastes nice.
Okay. And then every month you complain, my periods, my body, it hurts. I don't complain. I'm living my best life.
No, you're not.
I am fully.
Okay, cool. So the second half of this to talk about veganism itself. So like the pros, the cons, the health arguments. So I am not a scientist.
Yeah.
I barely care enough about my own health, let alone everybody else's.
I know.
But my boy Dr. Lee, I asked him to give me some scientific objective information on veganism, and he has. So I'll discuss those with you.
Please.
But so should I start or should you start?
You start.
Okay, how kind of you. So he's linked me with loads of studies because he's a geek, but a smart geek. He says, and I quote, so I asked him, is there any health risk of a vegan diet? Yeah, so you can come back at this if you so choose to. So he said that he listed certain potential health risks. So he goes, A, low B12. I don't know what B12 is. Occurs in stages ranging from mild to severe, but possible issues at the more severe end. Ulcers, nerve problems, visual problems, memory and cognition problems. Another one, low calcium, potential muscle problems, thinning of the bones to dental problems. Another third one, low essential fatty acids / DHA. Absolutely crucial in developing children to optimize brain development, important in making many key hormones and components in our body. Visual and cognition, which is brain issues. Another one is lower vitamin D.
Okay.
Another one is low choline, liver and muscle damage. Low iron, anemia, which means low blood count. Low zinc, immune system issues for men, problems getting a hard on, which is not helpful if you're trying to,
okay.
keep a reputation in these streets.
Okay.
And he said there's also a few more micronutrients, but he didn't want to go on further. So. Okay.
So which one would you like me to target?
Any of them, you choose.
All right. So B12 and all of that stuff. They always say, like when you change, the doctors always say, oh, you're going to be anemic. And it does happen because often when you're eating meat, you're getting regurgitated irons and minerals from the animals that they eat from the plants. So you're kind of getting the goodness, but again, it's regurgitated. So if the animal's getting 100%, you're getting 10. So I might as well eat the plant. But you just need to understand what plants give you what. So for example, when I first went vegan, I went severely anemic. And then I started to learn about how to replace it. So I'm Caribbean, so I know about things, herbs that I can replace this with.
Such
for
as?
my iron. So there's a herb
So the
called...
listeners don't know.
So there's a herb called sarsaparilla, and it looks kind of like bark, but if you boil it, you have that tea every day, your iron will be up. And I've given it to friends, and they've had severe iron deficiencies, and then suddenly they're fine. And I just say, keep
Should
taking
be from
it.
like Dr. Sebi out there in the street.
You know what? Yeah.
Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Say nothing.
Dr. J. No, it's the understanding of what to replace things with. A lot of what Dr. Sebi says is kind of scientifically real too, but I feel like it's the communication. And it's also, I feel like, especially in the Black community, when doctors tell you things, it's, oh, that's true. Because you believe the doctors spent years learning about this stuff. But then when someone that looks like you tells you, it's like, oh.
No, don't do that. Because if it's a Black person that's a doctor, they'll believe them as well.
But the reality is though, if you like deep it, especially like people like...
So you can't do that.
Nah.
Don't do that.
When it's a brown doctor, of course you're going to listen to them too.
No, but I'm talking about a Black doctor. Like if you go to hospital and a Black doctor's telling you stuff, you're going to listen to it. It's the fact that they're in that institution. It's not to do with their colour.
Absolutely.
We're going to trust our own more say. But if it's just like one uncle...
No, but the reality is, where does this information come from? It's not from a person that looks like me. There's all this talk on, Black women this, and Black individuals are dying more in the hospitals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So there needs to be more scientific facts for people that look like us, and they don't do that on us. They don't measure things like that. They haven't understood anything to do with sickle cell, and sickle cell is the lack of iron in the blood, period. So when it comes to herbs, they don't go and check things like where iron comes from in herbs. They look at iron from rocks because that's all they know. So rocks, we don't eat rocks and we don't come from rocks. So we're never going to get iron from rocks. So they make synthetic versions that are sold in Holland and Barrett, etc. But you're only going to get 1% of that, or your body's not going to react to it because it doesn't understand, it doesn't register it. So that's why there's lack of minerals. So it's a combination of not understanding where to get your minerals from because you don't know the plants, you don't know the foods. They say things like, oh, potatoes are really good for you, but potatoes is starch. And any form of starch is never good for you, period. Starch in cloves hardens things. So in your body, it's going to harden your kidneys. In regards to one of the facts about eyes, your eyes are affected by your liver. So if you cleanse your liver, your eyes will be fine. I've been wearing glasses for years and I haven't had to change my prescription in like 6 years. Since I'm hard on my veganism and I know about how to cleanse my liver and what things I need to help myself for my liver. So it's about really understanding, and I don't think there's ever the education behind it. And that's the shame, because people are like, oh, I want to be vegan, but there's never anyone to go to. There's not a guide to how to be vegan.
I think it's maybe because it's still, in terms of its popularity, it's still a relatively new phenomena.
Yeah.
So it's not like something that's been around for, like, when I say obviously it's been around for time, but like in terms of like a high status in society, maybe like I'll say in 50 years, there'll be so much more evidence of veganism and things to do and not to do. And then I think it'll be almost second nature for some people. Whereas now it's like everybody's like kind of like experimenting.
Definitely.
Not everybody's Dr. J like you get me?
Do you know what I mean? It's unfortunate, you know? No, I feel like in the next 50 years, I think people really be more on the fake meat, because that's what they're really pushing more when it comes to veganism, not just like making your own burgers out of like chickpeas and regular vegetables. They're really pushing this like lab-grown, genetically modified meat, because people miss that. They crave the meat texture. And I don't think there's any nutrients from that. Again, it's kind of like the body's not going to register it because it's not real. It may have B12 and it may have this nonsense, but the body's not going to register it because it's not food. But a lot of the facts the doctor's saying, one thing about doctors is what I've learned, and it's a fact also, you can Google that, but doctors don't learn enough about nutrition. They learn about how to look after you or how to fix things, but they don't learn about the nutrition side. And food is nutrition. And that's what people need to remember. They need to learn about the nutrition. And that's why it's good to go to a nutritionist, not your PT, because your PT may learn bits and bobs, but they're not going to understand it like a nutritionist. They're not going to, and also with that, a plant-based or a vegan nutritionist is going to learn more about that than they are someone that is a nutritionist of everything. They're not going to know. And the thing is as well, why I think it's harder. I think what was really hard for me, I went to a nutritionist and I went to holistic people to learn about how to eat better. And I kept going to, it sounds bad, but I kept going to white nutritionists because that's what the market was feeding me. And they don't know anything about sarsaparilla. They don't know about these herbs because it doesn't grow from any land where they come from. So they're not going to know where to get these kind of things. So now I know my family are very into that kind of culture. So I can tell other people, I can help them, but I didn't have that journey. So I had to do trial and error to get where I am. And it's a shame because like you say, there isn't the studies, but I think it would be like a destroying factor if the Western culture got a hold of sarsaparilla or these great plants that do greatness, because then they'll just suddenly start to change the strain. It's kind of like marijuana, like CBD is great. You boil marijuana and you can get great properties from it. It can cure anything in your body. But then now the doctors and everyone's got a hold of it. The government wants it. It's now genetically modified, so you get a different strain. So the THC is removed. So now you're not really getting the properties because the THC still is a goodness in it. You may get high, but maybe that's a part of it. But then when you boil it as a tea, you don't get high. You just get goodness. You just go to sleep maybe, or you just get the good properties. So now when it's genetically modified, it's not good. Anything genetically modified isn't good for you. So
all that GM stuff is a bit mad to me. Okay, cool. So you also told me about some misconceptions. So you can agree or disagree. So one of the misconceptions, he said, a vegan diet is a healthier way to eat than a diet that contains animal products. You said, some vegans claim that their diet is healthier than a non-vegan diet. Now, if you compare a vegan diet that is more often than not a fruit and vegetables to a standard Western diet, which is basically trash processed food, then he said, I would agree that a vegan diet is much more healthier. But it's not optimal. That's not the right question. The comparisons will be an optimal vegan diet versus an optimal omnivorous that eat all products diet. He said, this is where, in his opinion, that plant-based diet studies such as the EPIC Oxford study fall down massively because they're comparing mostly good diets with completely crap processed ones, which I think is a fair argument.
Yeah, I agree with that too. However, like I said, when you eat meat anyway, all meat is processed because it has to go through a certain system. But again, you're getting regurgitated minerals. If, for example, they were to test me against a meat eater, I might win because I eat to a different kind of standard to a regular vegan. Most vegans don't eat or don't substitute the minerals and the irons and stuff. Even if it's tablets, they just don't do it. They'll just happily look emaciated or walk around looking grey. I'm glowing. Do you know what I mean? I'm glowing. You said it earlier.
Why did I say that?
When I said to you on the train, I was glowing and you were like...
You said your head was shiny. I said, yes, it is.
No.
That's what you said. Yes, you did.
No, I did.
You're flipping fraud, man.
Don't lie.
I'll never say glowing. Anyway, the streets know me. No, I'll never say the word glow.
You said I was glowing. It's fine.
No, you're not a light bulb.
You are a hater. It's okay to pay a compliment sometimes.
I will pay a compliment that's accurate. You're not glowing. You're not a light bulb.
I'm glowing. Okay. I don't look sick, periods. So, and I go for MOT tests like once a year to check how.
MOT test, so you're motorbike.
Oh, you don't know about full body MOT?
No, I don't.
Okay. You need to get to the doctor then.
Maybe I should.
Go.
Why you rattled, babe?
Go to the doctors.
Why you triggered? Go on, tell us about your MOT and the mechanic.
I hate it. No, essentially, the last time I went for a checkup, the doctor said to me, whatever you're doing, keep doing it because you're working. Everything's going good. So that's good for me. And I don't think a lot of people do things like that. People only go to doctors when they're sick. They don't go to check.
That's me.
They don't go to check if everything's working well. Because when it's sick, it's almost too late. Because
you're like, damn. Me, unless my arm's full enough, I ain't got doctors.
And that's stupid. You should always go. Not always.
I ain't trying to waste doctors' time. Yeah, I ain't trying to waste doctors' time.
No, but you should go to make sure you're at a place of goodness. And don't wait. It's like when your body's saying you're tired. That means you're lacking iron. Oh, I'm really tired. Oh, yeah, I'm really tired. So what are you doing about it? Why wait till you're like dead? Oh, I can fix it later. Why? Fix it the first time.
Every time I'm tired, I should go to the doctor.
Every time who?
I'm tired, I should go to the doctor.
Or look about it and get some iron in your system.
Okay. I'll buy some iron then, innit?
No, you'll get some sarsaparilla. I told you I'm going to get you a little goodie bag.
Okay. If it tastes trash, then I'm on to you still. He also goes to argue, if you want a nutrient-dense foods and a complete profile of nutrients, he said, I'll argue eat animal products is non-negotiable. Supplementation doesn't work in the same way as consuming your food from food sources. Example, if needed, as seen with calcium studies that show supplementation is detrimental to your health and your body does different things when with them than eating calcium-rich foods. He says vegan diets don't just have enough of key nutrients. I think people feel better because they go from eating shit to nutritionally poor diets to loads of fruit and veg, which means they increase a lot of their nutrient intake, but miss out on essentials.
Okay. So that's why they feel good, because they're usually eating a crap diet.
Yeah.
But most people don't eat crap diets. For myself, like...
No, he said no before they turned to vegan.
Yeah, well, like myself, when I used to eat meat, for example, we only used to eat organic meat. So it wasn't bad.
That's why he said most people.
Okay.
Not Dr. J.
Not Dr. J. You know what?
Plant girl. That's the 5th time you've sworn at me. You need to heal.
No.
You see, heal from your trauma. You heal from your trauma. Yeah.
I'm fine. No, I think maybe, it's okay. Maybe a lot of people do have...
I am. I'm sorry. Go on.
Maybe a lot of people do have trash diets.
Yeah, I have probably the worst diet in the galaxy.
So you might notice a difference when you go to change to veganism, if you do. I don't think you would, but...
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Maybe that's true, but...
Well, I'll eat a couple more vegetables though, still. I'm not sure about fruits though.
Why?
I got time for that shit.
When you told me you don't even like mango, or no, you said, I don't know what mango tastes like. I was like, what?
I know what mango tropicana tastes like.
Oh my God. Do you hear the stupidness?
Mango KA.
Do you hear the stupidness?
Mango KA slaps.
You are so westernized. It's a mess.
I'm so westernized.
Yeah.
What should I be?
Enjoy. Just enjoy.
No, I'm asking the question. Because you're doing that because you got the answer.
No, enjoy.
And it's cool.
Just enjoy.
I'm not westernized. I'm a Nigerian man.
That doesn't know what mango tastes like.
I don't be gentleman at all. What's mango got to do with Nigeria?
Does it not grow there?
I don't know. I'm not a farmer. Asking me what grows in Nigeria. As if I have a farm.
I hate you. I absolutely hate you.
Oh, yeah. That's what they all say.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are some... Actually, no. You are plant girl, the one and only, yeah? So you can give me some pros to veganism and I'll see if it matches what's on my list.
Okay. I would say that the pros are longer lifespan. Is that on your list?
No.
I didn't think it would be. I would just say cleaner, healthy living. You feel better. You think you look better. What other pros is there? There's an environmental
that's on my list.
issue, obviously. I think that's imperative. What other good things is there? I think it's just overall you feel good. Period. Yeah, that's all I would say. What's on your list?
So I got evidence-based health benefits, encourages mindful eating, wider variety of foods, may lead to weight loss for the meat pies them.
Yeah.
Reduce food costs, which is good for your pocket.
Yeah.
Healthier for an environment.
Yeah.
And no animal impacts.
Yeah.
I've noticed that speaking to you about veganism, you've come from a more of a nutritional perspective. You actually haven't really come from more like a moral perspective. Like, oh my God, the animals, no, save them.
I don't think I think the reality is I don't live on a farm. I don't see animals all the time. So, and I don't see the killing of animals. And I think because we've been like protected from that enough, we don't always link the killing. So I think growing up, it was never a thing. Although my family's always got organic, like I said, or like farmer market vibes. So I still have never like linked it to killing of the animal. So I never thought of it that way. I more came from the background I did because of what was happening in my household, in my family. And then I started to clock. But I just feel like in the whole aspect of killing animals, and I think people need to figure out what goes on with people before we start saying, oh, but the animals, yes, the animals can't speak for each other, but we don't even speak for each other. You know, there's still racism out there. There's still killings. There's still many things going on that people do to each other. So before we can look at what we're doing for the animals, we need to work out what we're doing collectively. And that's why I think a lot of things don't work well. People like presidents and stuff argue about space and countries. So let's figure that out first. And then we can figure out the rest when it comes to animals. But we're not going to be able to function well if we can't eat well. You know, if our brains are fogged or we're sick with cancer, or we're sick with whatever, diabetes, cancer, a bad heart or whatever, high blood pressure, we're not going to be able to function well. So let's just figure out us on the dietary side so we can feel better, look better, speak better, etc. And then the rest will follow.
Yeah, I find, actually, I can't remember, I watched a documentary, like maybe last year, and it made me feel a bit bad for animals. It was about whales at SeaWorld.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a madness. And even thinking about like when people go to like Thailand and they're next to like tigers that are drugged out of their brains, like I feel like this is just like, this is unnecessary cruelty. But I can't lie, like I'll eat any meat, so.
But because we don't see that every day, we don't think about it.
We don't see it every day, but like I've seen a chicken or turkey being killed though. No, it's Nigeria.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen the chicken.
I was like, damn, that's rough.
But see, right, it's rough. You only see it once, you're like, oh. And then you go, because you come back to England and you don't see it every day, you forget. But if you saw it more, you might be like, I don't want to eat that. You might, maybe.
There's a percentage possibility, but it's highly unlikely.
Well, there you go.
Because, listen, imagine being Nigerian eating suya every day. My friend, kill that goat, man.
You're an idiot, I swear.
It's true. Okay, and some of the cons, limited food choices, possible nutrient deficiencies, requires diligence, which you ironed out with like that you've got like certain tissues, wipes, toothpaste, all that type of stuff. Difficulty dining out.
Yeah, it was.
Unrealistic expectations. I don't know what that's about. And social isolation. I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that, yeah.
Yeah.
Not you, because you're cool, I guess. But like most vegans. The vegan jihadists, they just need to go.
I agree. I don't like them. I
wish somebody will come and ask me why I'm eating meat. I will smash eggs in your head.
I often have talks with these vegan terrorists and say, why do you do that? It's not necessary. Leave people alone. You know? Yeah. It's not by force that you have to spread the message.
Life is so good, yeah, where you can take time out to come and complain that another man's buying bologna or ham.
Right. And like, you don't understand people's circumstances, you know. I feel like it's a privilege to eat food, isn't it? Like, people are privileged.
I thought that about Jaden Smith when he was like, so Jaden Smith, he's doing I think
he's vegan food truck.
Yeah, I'm like, I understand, like, it's good, but like, it's so obnoxious. Like, oh, I'm vegan now, so I want to, you hold a vegan meal, like, just give them a generic balanced diet type of thing. But it's like, I feel like, I don't know, people reach this enlightenment. I want to shove it down next man's throat. Like, stay calm, big man.
No, I mean, for him, I feel like it was a good standpoint. Obviously, it's kind of like he could have just done any food. He could have, but for him, he understands the good properties in veganism. So it came from a place of love more than it did anywhere else. Most people that do these kind of food banks, or when they give to homeless people, they'll give like McDonald's. They'll give stuff that don't provide any kind of nutritional value. Whereas he gave something that is going to keep your belly warm for a long time. It's going to nourish you. It's not just going to go through you. It's nourishing, and everything you
nourishments.
Everything that goes in your body should nourish you. Not even just that. The interactions you have should nourish you. Everything should nourish you. And
interactions I have if you don't nourish me.
Yeah? I can leave.
Okay. You give me our podcast now. So.
No.
My work is done.
Don't be rude.
Sorry, you asked for it.
No, but I get it. But I think it came from a place of love and a place of education. Personally speaking, I don't think there's anything wrong with what he did.
Yeah, I think the act itself, it came from love. I just still feel like it reeks obnoxiousness for me personally.
Yeah, idiot. Anyway,
I'm an idiot, and he added a J to the idiot.
Did you like it?
No.
Did it feel sweet?
No.
Did you get the job? Just stared at me like that.
Anyways, Kwasia. Anyway, so let's round up with. So I'm trying to think. I should have got questions. You know, I should have asked people, do they have any questions for Plant Girl? So, so to round up, what places? Let's do good places to eat good vegan food. Certain herbs, or I don't know what you call these things, plants, fruits, whatever, that you recommend for what causes, what instances, and any advice for somebody who's starting their vegan journey. And listeners, I'm doing inverted commas for my fingers because I don't believe it's a journey.
Let me do that too.
You're
with
just
my
swearing,
fingers.
and it looks like you're doing something else. It's a bit wild. But anyway, go on.
So first point.
Yeah.
What was your first point again? Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
I just started laughing. Sorry.
Recommend
vegan
nice places
restaurants.
to eat vegan food.
I would say vegan restaurants. Pharmacy in Notting Hill. That's like top tier. Great food.
Prices? Roughly for how much per person?
Per person, anywhere from £20 up. Great cocktails as well. And they have like some great like shots. I would also say Comptoir V in Kensal Rise. They're really good. It's kind of like Lebanese style, kind of Caribbean-esque. That's really good. They do some great macaroni cheese made from cashew nuts, which is brilliant. I would say Eat of Eden in Brixton, wicked place. Caribbean vibes, again, brilliant, nice alternatives. And I'd also say Redemption, which is also in Shoreditch and Notting Hill, Westbourne Park.
Okay. I forgot the second thing. Oh yeah. Certain herbs and them things there that you recommend.
Well, one, I would say if you don't necessarily know about herbs, I would say you should speak to Paul because he's got his herb book. So
that is Dungu.
Yeah.
And I'll put his link in the bio.
Yeah, I definitely think I'd recommend it because he's got all the information on herbs. So shout out to him for that. He got a nice little shout out, which is cute. But also too, I would say things like burdock, which is great for livers. It's great for blood supply. It's got loads of iron in it. It's brilliant. Proteins, all of that. I would also say sarsaparilla, like I said before. What else would I say? Yellow dock, dandelion leaf, which can also be an alternative for coffee, which is brilliant. What else would I suggest? I think they're my top. I would also say if you're like looking for or trying to get better from a cold, I would say elderberry. Elderberry is always really good. Okay. Yeah.
And finally, advice for anybody who wants to start their vegan journey.
Yeah, I would say learn. Just learn. Learn more about...
What places would you say? Any YouTube channels, any Instagram pages, any books?
I'm not going to lie, I don't really look at YouTube. I'm not really like an influencer girl. I don't look at that stuff. But I would just look into the replacement of. So I always look at things like the replacement of egg. So I use like ackee or I use like chickpea flour. So I always look at the replacement. So try to understand what you want to do and then look for the replacement. I would also look into things that provide you with actual good minerals. Try to look at things that are non-GMO, non-processed, and from a plant-based thing, not a vegan, because I feel like there's a difference. Vegans eat things like tofu, very heavy processed, whereas plant-based people are very much about a red pepper and making your own burger. And, you know, if it's tofu, they made it out of chickpea. Okay. You know, it's not made, because soya is plastic, you know. Yeah. So they look at it from a real holistic background. So just try to understand where you're trying to fit in, what it is your goal is, i.e. is it because for health benefits, or do you want a better lifestyle, or do you want to not feel heavy, or is it for weight loss? Try to understand what your goal is and then try to align yourself with things around that. Learn for replacements and understand what minerals you need, especially iron. Okay. Don't lose the iron because you'll lose your hairline.
Okay. Well, that's too late for me, so I'm done at it. But for people, listen that. So where can anybody find you on Instagram or Twitter? Do you want to share that?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's Jamilah E. Toni.
And what about Twitter?
Same. They're all the same. All my socials are the same.
I'll put the link in there so people can ask you questions. If they would like. But yeah, thank you for listening. Listeners, please make sure to check out Jamilah's pages as well as Dungu's. Make sure you share this podcast with your friends, anybody you know that's interested in veganism. Plenty of good information here. Please subscribe on YouTube. I've got like 140. That's a joke thing. Not even that, probably like 120. Disrespecting me. You can hear this on SoundCloud as well as Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So yeah, subscribe to all of them. Boost my numbers.
Yay.
I hope you lot are having a great bank holiday weekend by the time you hear this. Make sure you drink plenty.
Have a good wine for me.
Yeah, I don't believe in that stuff, but yeah, do that. And stay safe in these streets. Not too much drugs.
Not too much drugs. No drugs.
Oh yeah, no drugs. And yeah, peace.
Bye.